Papert designed Logo with colleagues from the Artificial Intelligence Laboratory at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology.
We tried to achieve a number of goals. First of all, that it should be easily accessible. There should be corners of the language that you can get into, like baby talk getting into English, that are easy for the youngest beginner. But it shouldn't be a toy language. It's not that Logo is easy. It's easy to get into. But once you're in there, you can progress to the most sophisticated ideas in the world of programming. Just as in English, you can start off with baby talk, but the same language is also the vehicle for expression of poets and philosophers.
Ben is 8. He's engaged in serious discussion with Papert about his program for sprites. He likes these dynamic objects, which he can call up by name and program into highly active designs. He's kept all his ideas in a book. Typically, his handwriting doesn't give any clues to the complexity and achievement of his programming.
I think it was in 2nd grade. I'll show you that one. Would you like to see it?
Sure.
All right. Oh, wait a minute. Like bursts out onto the screen and then goes back in. We call that a home.
A home?
Yes, that means like that's the middle of the screen, like is its home, and it tells it like to come home. But no higher than 127. What number?
About 55. Speed limit.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
See, you see the planes and the trucks, then the rockets and the balls, and then the squares. And it's really neat.
Objects whizzing around the screen give this generation of children experience never before available. Children learn by experience of the world around them. That was the message of the Swiss educationist Jean Piaget. And hearing it, schools brought everyday objects into the classroom, creating a revolution in the education of young children. Crayon, glue, cardboard, blocks. These are the standard building materials from which children build their minds. Papert worked with Piaget and realized that the computer should come in along with the mud pies.
Whereas what we really have to think about is what produces involvement, engagement, what grabs the individual. And so it's much more related to love than to logic. It's much more related to sex than to abstraction. It's much more related to how you see yourself as fitting into the social and cultural fabric, including how you see television. Is it something that's being done to you or something that you want to appropriate? Then it's a matter of knowing how to put subject matter in the right sort of logical order in order for people to understand it. Education has very little to do with explanation. It has to do with engagement, with falling in love with the material.
By the time Papert was 2, he was already fascinated by rotating things, wheels, gears, pulleys. He loved their beauty and their logic. He thought about how fast small ones drove slow big ones. He'd no idea that he was preparing himself to become a mathematician, but he was. When teachers talk about ratio and about equations, many children find these ideas abstract and alien. Papert did not. His world of rotations made them concrete, friendly. For him, gears and wheels had become objects to think with, and he tried to invent new kinds of lovable objects that were good to think with. His most successful so far are the turtles.
Plastic robots, arrows on screens, hyperactive sprites all belong to the same turtle family. They all obey the same commands. By getting to know these turtles as they get to know a person, these children are learning to be mathematicians. This is Piaget's real message, learning rooted in experience.